It's time for you to get paid to exist. I know you see so many other creators online and you think to yourself, they make it look so easy. How is it that they get to get paid to exist? I'm talented, I'm gifted, I know I have what it takes. How can I get paid to exist? Well, I was just like you. And a year ago, I got serious about getting paid to exist. And in the last year, I have generated over $15,000 in my business. And that was not from AdSense. It was not from brand deals or sponsorships. It was all by selling my own products and services. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down some misconceptions around what it means to get paid to exist. And then I'm going to give you the codes so that you can actually get paid to exist. If you are new here, I am Beyond Taylor, and I am here to help you go beyond your self-imposed limitations. I am a creative embodiment coach, and I help women blow up their income and impact online. My journey started in a long time ago. I've always loved to create content, but during the pandemic around 2020, 2021, Kelly Stamps, I started following her, and she used to always make this content about like how to blow up on YouTube, right? And then she was also sharing how much money she was making from YouTube. And that really spiked my interest. I did not realize how much money was to be made in the digital economy, in the digital world. So from that point on, I was doing everything I could to build my YouTube channel so that I could attract brand deals and sponsorships. Because at that point, I thought that was the only way you could get paid to be a full-time creator, or to get paid from the platforms themselves. And I was pretty consistent with growing my channel. I mean, not growing my channel with posting, but my channel was not growing. My channel would not budge. And I just said, okay, well, I'm going to go to TikTok. And that's what I did. I went to TikTok and I was like, I'm going to use my TikTok to promote my YouTube channel. So I went on TikTok and I was just sharing my heart, and I was having a lot of fun. And I was able to authentically build an audience on there, but I still was not making money. So I thought it was about followers. And I said, okay, I've grown my channel to over 50,000 followers on TikTok. Where is the money? Why am I still not getting paid to exist? And I realized that it wasn't about the brand deals or the sponsorships. It was learning how to leverage your own skills and talents and learning how to package them up, market them, and sell them. So I came across this creator, Dan Coe. Shout out to Dan Coe. I came across his content. He was talking about being a solopreneur, and he's like the one person business, and pretty much breaking down everything that was required in order to actually make money online without having to rely on having a large audience and constantly bringing in a ton of views. So as you can see, I am a relatively small YouTube channel, and I was still able to generate over $15,000 in a year in my business. And I would say this is closer to probably like $18,000 because I've had other forms of payment come through, not through Stripe. And this does not even account for the money that YouTube paid me. Okay. So, and this is all with a relatively small audience. I just reached over the $7,000 subscriber mark. So I was sitting under 7,000 subscribers for a really long time, and I was still able to make money in my business, which means I was still able to get paid to exist. So that's what I'm going to be sharing with you in this video, and how you can do the same. So first, we're going to talk about some common misconceptions around what it means to get paid to exist, especially in the spiritual and manifestation world, which I came from, right? That's what I've been talking about a lot on my channel. That's how I grew my community on TikTok, was talking about manifestation. And so I was in that world for a very long time. And some of the common misconceptions that people have around getting paid to exist means money just go fall in your lap. You don't got to do nothing. You could just like wish upon a star and you'll get a surprise check in the mail, which these things do happen, right? I'm not discounting them. But to me, getting paid to exist is not just like some one-off thing. It's consistently being able to generate revenue so that you aren't doing all these silly tips and tricks in order to manifest money out of the sky. I've been inside of programs. I've even invested in programs like money making program, where they have you do these rituals where it's like, what are some unexpected ways the money can come in? And you're just doing all these things, but it doesn't teach you how to develop the skill of creating in generating money long term. You know, that saying, why would I give you a fish when I could just teach you how to fish? Actually, I don't think that's a saying. I don't know the saying, but essentially that's what it is when people are telling you, just like say affirmations or do the subliminals or just believe that you have the money. Like, I won't deny that you won't be able to, have large sums of money come to you or, manifest random checks or, get a raise in your job. I think that's actually great. But when it comes to consistent revenue, what it's really going to come down to is learning how to exchange value. And you can still use manifestation for that. But what you're really doing is like manifesting the opportunities, the ideas to come to you so that you can take the inspired action to have the identity of someone who gets paid to exist. Okay. So that's a common misconception around getting paid to exist. It does not mean you just getting paid to breathe. It means that you're getting paid to do what you love. And that's what I was able to do. I was able to get paid talking about what I love, creating YouTube videos, helping people, doing what I love. And to me, that is like breathing. So I'm getting paid to exist because I'm getting paid to be a mom. I'm getting paid to travel the world. I'm getting paid to exist. I'm just exchanging something of value for the resources for it, right? So common misconception out the window. Now we're going to talk about what it actually means to get paid to exist. And I kind of just touched on that, but it means leveraging your skills and talents to help someone else. Period. That's all it means. Because at the end of the day, in order to earn income, it's all about exchanging. I think about alchemy. I think about the anime Full Metal Alchemist. And it's like, in order to get something, you have to give something up. There has to be an exchange.
To obtain, something of equal value must be lost. That is alchemy's first law of equivalent exchange.
And the same is going to go with getting paid to exist. So if you want to get paid for breathing, then you better be offering something beneficial to the world. And this is like the three main categories of what you can offer to the world and what the world will pay you for. Entertainment, education, or inspiration. If you can hit any of those fields, then you can get paid to exist. You just have to figure out what it is that you're really good at, what it is that you love to do, and what it is that someone will pay you for. If you can ask yourself that question and find the middle of that, you're golden. And a way to do that, and what I always recommend, is don't focus on being an entertainer. If you are looking to get paid to exist, like you want to make your first $1,000 just so you can believe in yourself. I feel like, even for me, making my first like 150 online, it was enough for me to go, this is something is here and I know that I can do this. But to just make your first $1,000 online, I would recommend taking your skills, your talents, what you're really good at, what people will pay you for, those questions that I asked, and packaging it up and selling it as a service or as a product. So you can sell it as a digital product. You can sell it like as an ebook, a course, a community, right? They have paid communities, and I know school just launched a new like pricing where you can get school, which I love school, going back to school. My community is now being hosted on school and it's $9 a month. So you can host a small community on $9 a month and have people pay you $5 just so you can share expertise. It's kind of like Patreon. You can open a Patreon, or which is even quicker than going the product route, is just creating a service. That is how I started making my first money. That is how I made most of my money that I made in the last year, is by having a service. So coaching, just having people pay you because they are interested to talk to you, because they have questions, right? Because you are helping them to solve a real problem in their life. And that's another huge thing when it comes to getting paid to exist in this industry, right? In the spiritual healing, holistic space, is just understanding what your audience's problem is and then marketing your service or your product as the solution. That is how you are going to get paid to exist, not just by entertaining or saying, hey, I think you might like this, but figuring out what are real problems that your audience is dealing with, your community is dealing with, and how can you solve them with your unique skills and talents. Once you can identify a problem, you know that you have the skill set or you are willing to build the skill set to be able to actually solve that problem. And then you learn how to market it and sell it. Boom, you're making money. You're getting paid to exist. You're getting paid to do what you're already doing anyway. You already consistently helping people out in their lives. You're already like solving problems with your friends and your family. You're already doing these things anyway. You might as well get paid beautifully for doing it. And the only reason why you're not getting paid beautifully to doing it is because you don't know how to market and you don't know how to sell. And you are probably using content for the wrong reasons, as I was for a really long time, where I thought it was about, oh, building a huge community. Oh, building a large following because then I'm gonna get the brand deals and all this other stuff. Let me tell you something. I really got this from Danco. Like Danco gave me these codes, but why would you want to sell somebody else's products and services when you could just sell your own? Because that's all sponsorships are doing, right? When you're getting brand deals and sponsorships or you're an affiliate marketer, you are selling somebody else's products and services and getting a very small percentage of what they're getting, and they're leveraging your audience. So the reason why they're coming to you is because you have already built up this like, trust, and know factor with your audience. If you vouch for a product or a service, your audience is more than likely going to buy it because they trust you. So big brands know that, or even smaller brands who just are using influencing marketing. Instead of marketing somebody else's products where you're getting a fraction, why don't you just market and sell your own products and services where you are pretty much taking home majority of it, majority of the income? So after that, I stopped trying to focus primarily on being a content creator. I stopped trying to make it about growing a large audience. And I just became really clear on what is the problem that I want to help my audience solve and how can I strengthen my skills of marketing, sales, content, because content is marketing, especially if you don't do paid ads. Content is how you are going to market to yourself. And I'm going to summarize this video up in a few steps so that you can actually start to implement what I'm saying and take action today to get paid to exist. This is what it's going to sound like. Step one is to identify your niche. So don't overcomplicate this. This is not me putting yourself in a box. And I talk about this inside of Fully Seeing Codes, my course that is coming out soon. Sign up for the waitlist to get early bird pricing. But I talk about this whole fight and struggle that multidimensional creators have with niching down and feeling like they don't want to put themselves in a box because they feel like they're going to be like leaving people out. No such thing. All niching down is allowing you to do is just get hyper specific with showing your audience and the algorithm where to send your content. And so your audience can just become familiar with like what is it your overarching theme. So you could be someone who's like spirituality as a theme is just way too broad. Manifestation as a theme is way too broad. So you could say, oh, I help people manifest, money. I help people manifest relationships, right? This is getting narrowing down. And then in that saying like, okay, this is what my product and my service actually does is help people manifest money or it helps them manifest a relationship. But your content can hit, manifestation. So just don't think that because you're niching down, you're going to be leaving anyone out or you're going to be boxed in and you only have to talk about one thing. It's really just going to help you get specific in your marketing down the line. So, first one is just identifying who your market is and what is your niche. Second one is identifying what is their problem. How do you identify their problem? Go on YouTube, go on TikTok, go in the comment section, go on Reddit. You'll really be able to see like what are the most commonly asked questions. What are the things that people are really wanting help with? And when you are able to identify like what's a common problem that is in this field, then look at your skills, your abilities, and what people will pay you for, and package it up in either a digital product, so an ebook, a course, an online community, or you can package it up in the form of a service. You could do one-on-ones, one-off, you could do 3-month package, you could do a mastermind, so many different ways you could create services. And then you want to create the product or the service, and then you want to learn how to market it. And the way you market it is just by creating very focused channel content to target that specific audience and talk to their problems. But I always say talk them up, don't talk down at them, but talk to the problem and then position yourself as the solution. That's pretty much it. And once you just do that over and over and over again, you'll get better at it and then you'll be able to start earning income. So that is how you actually get paid to exist. That is how you can consistently get paid to exist and not just be manifesting money out of the sky. Get a niche, identify a problem, create the solution, market and sell the solution through your content. Stop creating to be a content creator who just goes viral and and like gets all the followers and all the views. Some of your favorite creators, they have lots and lots of followers and they're really not making a ton of money. Not as much money as they could be making with an audience of that size because they are not being intentional about promoting their own products and services. They're still so dependent on the platform or they're so dependent on brands and sponsorships, which is not long term, right? They're still working for someone. They're not getting paid to exist. They're getting paid to promote somebody else's brand or they're getting paid to promote the platform. That is pretty much what's happening with AdSense. Other people, like if y'all watching my video right now, there has been ads. Other people are leveraging my audience so that they can send you ads and you can buy their products. So then YouTube is paying me from that, from like what these companies are paying them. When it's like, okay, I can just create my own product and services like I have. You can work with me down below. All the ways to work with me. Influencing codes where I really break down what I'm saying will be in a course, and it's going to help you create, launch, and market and sell that product in 30 days. So that's also inside of the course. Waitlist down below. But yeah, that's all of that is how you're going to do it. And last but not least is being able to get your body on board because none of this matters if you don't feel safe with the abundance that you are calling, if you don't feel safe with visibility, if you don't feel safe with being the star that you were created to be, with being the success that you were created to be. So mindset, this goes beyond mindset. This is tapping into the body and we're targeting you on a somatic level so that it can become embodied, it can become an identity, it can become unconscious so that it can become normal and long term. This is about playing the long game. This is not just so you can have one off good month here, a low month there, even though that is business. But like when the low month comes, can you keep going? And when you get your body on board, that is how you're going to be able to keep going, even when the business is going like this. All right. So that's all I got for you guys. Everything is down below on how to work with me, and I'll be talking to you soon. Bye.